Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to yet another episode of the
Pitchside podcast.
Nice to have you, Mark.
Thanks very much.
It's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's been an amazing day so far. Really cool to be here with you guys. Thanks for chatting to me.
Skipper.
Yes, sir. Mark, good to have you.
Yeah, geez, lovely to see you. Long time.
How are you feeling about this turn-up?
No, the turnout's unbelievable here. I think we were just saying off air, the football journalists are on a different planet. This is unbelievable. We really appreciate everyone coming out. And I think it's a testament to what big news local football is and the Betway Premiership is. It's why we're involved, and it's great to see it live.
Speaking of involvement with the Premiership, how did it come about for Betway to find it as the right fit to be partners with the PSL?
Look, I think I said it on stage earlier, like everything in South Africa, and certainly for Betway as a brand, we're trying to associate with what people are passionate about. We've always liked sponsorship, so we are always looking around for sponsorships. Football in South Africa has always had an interesting kind of hands-off approach to sports betting, which we've been watching from the corners, kind of keeping our head up, looking for opportunities. And I suppose, like a lot of things in life, a bit of good luck and a bit of timing. And we were lucky enough to get a seat at the table and into the conversation, and the timing worked out well from a DSTV exit and a Betway taking over point of view. And I suppose this is the granddaddy, really.
And how long did it take you guys to decide that you're taking this opportunity to sponsor the league?
I think realistically it took a couple of months.
Okay.
There was certainly interest from the first second it was even a possibility. But obviously it's a big deal. Long term, lots of money involved. Lots of pressure and quite a high stakes environment. I think there's a lot of good expectation that comes with being in the football space. So that was more the conversations we had to have. But if I'm honest, it was one of those that from the start it felt right. So it was more around making sure that we were all on the same page and getting the rights that we wanted and needed, so that we could activate and hopefully create some cool stuff.
And what are some of the things that influence your decision based on,
Yeah, look, I think there's certain measurable aspects. So there's audiences, there's fan bases, there's all these kind of good things. And again, fairly unrivaled in this country in terms of when you're talking the Premiership, there's just so many more people watching, engaging, being part of the conversation than any other sport, certainly that we've been involved in before. So that's a key driver. And then I think in terms of that association I mentioned, like what are the thoughts, what are we going to do around it, how are we going to make this thing come alive? And not to say any of our predecessors in terms of the sponsors have done a bad job, but how are we going to bring a bit of Betway energy to the party, how are we going to take it up a notch, and do some cool stuff for the fans and the audience out there that are, like we discussed on the stage, Lisa Kazini forever, that people are mad about this.
Speaking about the fans, is there any campaign or advice that has been created in terms of responsible betting and making sure that everybody understands the impact that it comes with? Absolutely,
Sugar. That's something we're actually focusing on. With the campaign work we're going to be doing around the Betway Premiership, we're going to be focusing on responsible betting. It's not sustainable from an industry point of view or a Betway business point of view if there's a lot of people who develop bad gambling habits. So in terms of telling people what those kind of things to look out for, it's absolutely something we're going to be doing. We've created TVCs. You're actually going to see a lot of football and responsible betting content out of us first, kind of out the blocks here, which might take people by surprise, because I think people might have expected to see something different. But that's who we are, and as a brand, I think that's what attracted us and the league to each other. I liked it when you said it earlier that there's a lot of money involved, and football makes me feel like
I want to play again,
getting my boots back on.
Definitely missed my calling. If only.
But Maki, if I would ask, what are some of the responsibilities you carrying as a brand towards the communities?
Yeah, look, I think, like I've said, I think certainly the responsible betting is huge for us. Like, we want to make sure that people aren't developing bad betting habits. That's not good for us, not good for them, not good for the industry. And the reality is, we work in a very regulated environment in South Africa in terms of the sports betting landscape. we need to make sure that we are going above and beyond to do the right thing, to be in the right places and to show up for people.
Yeah.
So it is a possibility that people develop bad habits in this space. We want to be able to be there to help them, and we want to be making sure that they're feeling comfortable to reach out to us. I think from a responsible betting point of view, that's huge.
Yeah.
And then in terms of communities, in terms of fan bases, I really think hopefully some of the cool content ideas we're going to be working through, and our campaign around Lisa Gazzini Forever, we are working on some great ideas which I think the fans are going to love, to try and get more bums in seats, more fans in the stands, give them a reason to come and show their football heritage. Like, what is it that's in your blood? Like, why is it Sundowns?
I like the touch that was brought in where you Betway engaged the legends and bringing them back into the league. That was really a nice touch. And on that very same note, the curiosity behind what role they play, as well as what to expect when it comes to the trophy that everybody is actually waiting to see. What is that?
Look, I think, like I said about the passion for football, I'd love to say people are super passionate about the sponsor of the league. That would be a horrible lie. The people are passionate about these colours, these players. That's what it's about. It's about the clubs. It's about the fans. How do you resonate with them? How do you really connect with them? So that's something we're going to be focusing on. And trying to make the league, let the colour pop, let it come alive. Like, I think that's the goal really with what we're trying to do here.
Maki, maybe let me ask you about the social media. We are a generation of social media. What sort of lessons, or rather education, do you guys have for supporters, for players, and as well as everybody wants to be in in football? What kind of lessons maybe do you have to help that, or to educate the supporters into this?
On the responsible betting side of things? Look, I think our social media team already very proactively put out a lot of there's a handful of key tips. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose. Don't chase your losses. If you lose on your first bet slip of the weekend, time out. Take a break. Come back next week or next month. Don't chase your losses and think, I'll get the next one, I'll get the next one. That's when you get into a dangerous cycle. So our social media team are putting out a lot of that content by ourselves as Betway. And again, I think working with lots of the legends of the game. People receive it really well when it comes from those people, and I think hopefully it speaks for itself when we engage with legends to say, like, it's not just something we're saying, it's something we mean, it's something we really want to bring across to fans. It's a long-term vision to make sure that this is a well-regulated, safe environment for people to play and enjoy the entertainment of having a bet on the game. It does certainly add something else to watching the game when you've got a bet on
One
that
last
game.
question.
Sure.
One last question. So we have seen around the world, players have been caught betting, and it's against the regulation of the leagues. What sort of education are you gonna have in place for the players not to fall into the trap?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think Madam CEO brought it up on the stage that we've already got a database of the entire football ecosystem to make sure that those people aren't betting with us. But we also have built into the contract a right to actually engage with every single club, and we want to make sure that we're educating the players on the dangers of it. You're spot on. It's happened around the world. There's massive fines involved, not only for the player, but it also brings the industry into bad kind of ill repute. So I think it's a really key thing. We want to be engaging with the players, with the administrators, to make sure that they understand the dangers, and that hopefully we can put our best foot forward and say, guys, ladies, this is not something you should be doing while you're involved in the game. Betting is actually not for you.
That's nice. That's nice.
So, Mark, just before we wrap up, the trophy reveal.
Sorry, I skipped that.
It's a surprise, the tada.
It's a tada. Not only that, but also the prize money. Because everybody would definitely be wondering, what is it? Because Betway is a global brand and has been looking. Everybody's excited to see what Betway is actually bringing to the table.
Do you ask about prize money because you've won so many leagues?
It has to be a tada.
We need to know. We need to know so we can start budgeting and making sure.
I'm going to leave you on tenterhooks on the prize money. That's still a conversation we're having with the league. In terms of the trophy, I think you saw on the screen earlier, we're going to be working with Nelson Makama, one of South Africa's best, most prolific artists. He just does beautiful work. We're going to take the fans, the viewers, everybody from across the country on a journey of basically of building this from right now. It's a piece of paper in front of Nelson. So let's build this thing together. Let's get the fans' input, and let's let's reveal it at the right time. I think it's also a good opportunity for us to have a couple of those moments during the season that we can drop in, keep the energy high, keep people excited, see what they're playing for. There's certainly going to be some extra reveals coming during the season.
Thank you so much for joining us on the pitch. It's Pitchside podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, and definitely we'll be keeping an eye out to see those tadas that will definitely come in the beginning and during the season as the season progresses. Hopefully we'll have a follow-up conversation to see where we take off from here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mikey. Thanks for having me.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys.
We rise. We rule. We repeat.
We're still right here at the launch of the Betway Premiership. Joining us now, a person who is a legend in his own right. A man who has got so much information beforehand. Lorenzo, welcome to the Pitchside podcast.
I didn't know I'd be introduced as a legend by fellow legends next to me. But thank you guys. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Obviously, we're launching the league together, and it's going to be an exciting one for Sundowns.
What do you expect this season?
Look, after the first few results, I'm hoping for more competition.
Okay.
Let's say competition amongst everyone, because if we have competition, I think there's going to be more excitement, more seats filled in the stadiums, and just a lot more interest. We can't have Masanda Wana dominating every season by landslides. So that's what I'm hoping for as a neutral.
Lorenzo, speaking about the competition, like you say, from the first few results that have been seen, everybody now has a different view of what to expect. And truly speaking, like you say, that it would be much more better if there is a lot of competition amongst everybody. Are there any surprise packages or surprise teams that you're hoping that they can bring up the heat or bring up the tempo or bring up the excitement as well from what we've seen already?
In terms of a title race or in terms of just entertaining?
Let's say title race, because we are launching the sponsor today.
Look, I honestly think Super Sport, which many fans banter and say is your guys' development team, I honestly think they can surprise many people, because look, Stan Matthews said it to us the other day. It's like, if you look on paper, they're starting 11. They could beat any team in the league. Maybe they don't have much depth, but we've heard now that Bradley Grobler is out injured, so that could be a big blow. So they definitely need to get somebody in there now to get, to score goals. They're out of Africa. They had a big long run in the MTN 8. So, I mean, the focus now is having a good start in the league. And you guys know, you've won many league titles. If you get that good start, if you put points on the table early on, it can set a precedent, and who knows where that takes you. So I honestly think if SuperSport can get a good start, they don't have any other distractions. Stallies, Sundowns, Pirates, Sekokune, they have Africa to deal with. So I do think SuperSport have that slight advantage.
Lorenzo, I've got one question for you. Maybe not one, but what sort of responsibility are you guys carrying as journalists to educate the masses or the people that are in football?
Look, I mean, it is a very difficult job, because you can see, especially now, the players, the coaches, the teams are all complaining about fixture congestion. We're also suffering from fixture congestion. Like, it's training, we come into training, it's game. So it is very difficult for us as well. But in order to educate the masses, I think it's like player identification, profiling. We're not just doing, the press conferences stuff. We're also doing the interviews. We try to elevate certain players. If we believe a certain player needs to be elevated, we elevate them. You know what I mean? So, for example, Aseko Tewani. Nobody knew him maybe 12 months ago. When he made his debut in the PSL, he got into the Amajita camp, he signed Swamalu. Now it becomes our duty to say, who is this guy? He comes from Tsakane. He was playing for Jailers Down. This is his former coaches, this is his former teammates and things like that. So that is our duty to say, to not have those questions when a player comes on, like Kutluano came on or started a game, and you get the question, who is this guy? So that education is very important. And obviously, things like in Africa, just letting people know when games is, when they can watch it, and just identifying, the fixtures you guys mustn't miss, that type of thing.
I'm asking this question because I look at some of your posts when you hyping these players, the players that we don't know about, which you are doing very good job with that, because I mean, so many people.
That's why I said he's a legend in his own right. See, you're bringing it up now.
Yeah, and I'm saying all this because we're raising generation that doesn't know much about the previous generation of footballers.
Yes, of course.
And I think our stories doesn't start now. There is no story that starts with a comma. There should be a story that started long time ago.
Yeah.
What sort of digging are you doing in terms of bringing that information?
The past?
The past, the present, and even the coming one. Because, I mean, as a journalist, I think you're having that responsibility to educate.
Yeah.
So what sort of job are you guys doing in terms of bringing that information into people?
Yeah, look, I mean, it always needs to be relevant. You know what I mean? When we're talking about history and the past, like, for example, let's say Sundowns plays, Amazulu, for example. You'll try and bring a historical thing of the past. We say, this guy scored a hat-trick in 1993 against Amazulu and whatever. Yeah. And the funny thing is, you mentioned about the legends and the guys. Like when I was growing up, I was watching Sapula and Mookie and those guys. Yeah. And the other day I posted a video of him because he did his CAF B or CAF A license. Yeah. And half of the people didn't know who he is. And I was like, what? You take it for granted that, some players that you grew up watching, I'm sure you guys grew up watching other players, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm taking it for granted that I saw you playing at Black Leopards.
Yeah.
And other people, just the youngsters, know you as the guy holding the check after you guys won the league. Like the guy in the suit, you know what I mean? So, I mean, sometimes when you notice, hey, nobody knows who the Sapula guys is. You'll throw up a picture of him holding a league title and they're like, oh, okay. And now we're gonna go Google, we're gonna go see on, Transfer Market or Wikipedia who this guy is. So sometimes it's just shining a light on things that for you thought was obvious. You need to give a guy flowers if he's not in the picture anymore. Because for you guys, you're still kind of in the limelight. You're on the Pitchside podcast. You're relevant. You're ambassadors for various things, and people will know who you are. But what about your teammates? That are not as visible anymore. And I think sometimes it's good, like even Mahlatsi, he has his podcast, and you speak to what's that guy's name? It was so Laratu Shabangu. I loved him as a player, and it's important to give those guys, and they need to also allow us to give them an opportunity to speak to them.
I'm asking this question because I just know that there's players that I don't think my son will know about. Or anybody of that matter, new generation. And I had to learn from the people like Butrod and the late Dashaks, that there's players that did so much in their generation. But I think the media and the journalists, they don't do justice, in terms of bringing all those information to people. So I'm asking you this question because I just want to know. Let's say, for instance, when you want to know about Markfish. I don't think you guys would go and ask Markfish and let us tell us how good Markfish was. You know what I mean?
There's so many factors to this now of I can explain it to you. Some of these legends, they don't know me. I don't know them, they don't know me. I will call him, I'll message him, and he'll blue tick me. You understand what I'm saying? He's a legend, and who is this boy? You know what I'm saying? And then the other factor is, I can make a post about Esrom Nyandoro or Michael Manzini or Brian Baloy now. And I'll get a certain audience who appreciates that, right? But if I post a picture of Siama Bena who has 15 games in he'll get more attention.
I see.
Because it's a different generation on the medium. So the platform is the social media. You know what I mean? So you understand where I'm going with this. It will be effortless for me to hype up a new kid on the block on social media because he's new, he's fresh, he's trending.
I see.
You know what I mean? And people like new. You know what I mean? So there's two
I like it.
factors.
He says people liking you.
And I know that talk. That's why I'm changing my face.
It's like a pair of shoes.
No, there's this a friend of ours used to say that. They say every time when we play, he said he loves new boots. So
Yes.
everything he sees, he said now play with new boots.
Exactly.
So that's why when he said
But
he
that's
loves
the
new
truth. When you get a new pair of shoes, you take better care of it. You know. But I'm saying, so it's two things. They don't know me. They don't trust me to tell their story, and also it's easier to promote something that is fresh and new and exciting out of the box. You know what I mean?
Lorenzo, I feel like there is so much that
You need to tell
you
us.
need to tell us, and I strongly believe that this should not be the last time we have you on the podcast, because education that we just got ourselves, because some people only look at the media in a certain way, but you're bringing another level, that another dimension that shows that there is the importance of the media. It's
Yeah.
not all bad media. There's
There's
also
a
there's a relationship that should be there. So we really appreciate you making time, especially right here as we're launching the new sponsor.
Yeah.
Hopefully very soon we can have another chat and go even deeper, so that we're also educated to see the people who actually were pushing us during our playing days.
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate
Sure,
it.
my brother.
Sure, sugar.
Lorenzo.
The harder we work, the higher we rise. We never quit. And that's why Spapet. We will repeat.
As we continue right here at the launch of the Betway Premiership, we've got a person who is making his debut, like you were saying earlier on, a debut on the pitch.
Podcast.
Thank you. It's about time, Sugar.
It's about time.
It's about time.
Sorry, welcome.
Mazola, thank you for making time to join us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I've been waiting for the call. I work with this guy at SABC. He's never called me for Pitchside
Breaking news.
podcast. Yeah?
You got breaking news.
Breaking news, he's making his debut.
This is breaking news. This is breaking news.
I want to hear from you. From what took place today, what are your expectations personally when it comes to what you've picked from the different teams, different coaches, the excitement in and around a new sponsor and being able to finally start the season?
First of all, I'm hoping the league is not won in December. We can't have a league that's won
try.
in December.
We'll try
We can't have a league that's won in December. No, we
Okay.
can't, you know.
Yeah.
But I still expect Sundowns to dominate, to have to go 2 seasons in a row, 16 points and 23 points. It shows the quality of the league. And funny enough, I was having a conversation with Coach Mangoba now, and I asked him the same question, and he says the points gap is a sign of how good or how bad the league is. If teams win consistently, then they can play catch up. But if they win here and drop points there, and you have a Sundowns team that wins consistently, of course they're gonna keep dominating. So my hope, like any, as a football journalist, as a reporter, and as a lover of football of the game, I want the title race to go down to the wire. Okay. I want the excitement. By May, we need to still be
Asking who's
asking
taking
who's
it?
taking this thing, you know, instead of now switching our focus to the relegation dogfight. But of course, you know, the Sundowns fans want it done quickly. You know, myself with my team in Europe as well. When we watching, we want them to wrap it up quicker.
Yeah.
We don't want to suffer for long periods of the season. But I really am hoping that teams, from what I've seen, teams have beefed up. The market is a little bit different this time around. So let's see what happens.
When I'm start breaking news, when you're looking at the whole 16 teams, which one do you think, Banali Mutagari, the good signing?
Cape Town City. Cape Town City is the team that I've looked at the most in terms of, and I'll tell you why. They did their business quite well. I think by May or so, the bulk of the players that they've signed, Cape Town City had already secured them. Whether waiting for work permits, of course they were throwing a spanner in the works when Kanyisa Mayo left.
Okay.
That meant they had to get Amadou Saukona, a player that I rate very highly, I must say. I watched him play for Maritzburg United, top goal scorer in the season that they were relegated, and I think he brings a different dynamic to that team. So if you ask me who got their business done early, who did the most impressive signings, Cape Town City are there. And of course, and I'm not mentioning this because I'm on the show, but I think Mamelodi Sundowns, it goes without saying. Kovameloko Disang, Arthur Sales, and everybody else that's come on board. Those are top signings, you know. Being able to again do business early, and Keegan Johannes, a player that gives you versatility as well. Iki Reynas, a player that top scored for Stellies two seasons in a row. What can he bring to the table? You know, and of course Orlando Pirates as well. I think they've done their business smart. Whether they've signed enough, that's another question. The group stages, if they make it to the group stages of the Champions League, you guys know that will be the true test of character, because you are traveling to Cairo, you are traveling to Algeria, you are going this, there, and then you have to play 2 days later. It takes a toll on the body, especially if you don't have a big squad.
What sort of lessons are you having, like for the youth season, for people at home who doesn't watch the matches on stadium or coming to the matches? What sort of education do you have for them as a journalist?
For someone who relies especially on the reporting back of whatever it is that has been done or what is to be done from a journalist point of view.
I think fans are missing out. Our league is exciting. We've seen it over the last couple of years with Sundowns winning 7 league titles in a row. You've seen how it's changed the stance from when you guys arrived at Sundowns. Compare the crowds that you were playing in front of in the days of Johan Nieskens and whatever, and then Coach Pito coming on board, changing the culture, and then obviously Coach Rulani and Mangoba after that coming on board. You can see. And Orlando Pirates is doing the same thing as well. You look at Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, when they were winning league titles under Stuart Baxter, FNB Stadium was packed every weekend. When they started losing matches, FNB, it looks like they should be downgrading to a smaller venue because it looks like there's no one there. Even though there might be 10,000 people there, but because they're playing in a 100,000 seater, it looks like it's empty. Whereas when they were winning titles, that was full. You know what I mean? Every weekend they were playing in front of large crowds, and it still happens now that even when they go away from home, they still get large crowds because of the history and heritage of the club. So I think our fans are missing out on a lot.
And what are you doing to help them, or maybe to entice them to come to the stadium? After seeing Orlando Stadium over the weekend, what sort of roles are you playing in terms of bringing those people to the stadium?
Well, to be honest, I don't necessarily think it's my role as a journalist.
Why?
I think it's up to the clubs to boost their marketing departments, to do road shows. I've seen you guys do a lot of those. I've seen Chiefs and Orlando Pirates do a lot of those road shows as well. I'd love to see a SuperSport United do road shows. Go out and invite, sometimes give away free tickets and get supporters to the club. I make an example with SuperSport United because there was a period where you won those league titles, some of them with SuperSport United, but the crowd.
You were 15.
Yeah, I mean there still wasn't enough people in the crowd, but they won League 3.
I am saying this, sorry to cut you, that it's your responsibility and it's our responsibility as people who are in football to change the picture of our football. Hence, the youth sponsors are coming in to help us. And I say this because some people, maybe they are at work. And then they don't have this information of saying, Tlhori told them about what happened over the weekend. You know what I mean?
do. Have you not seen my social media? I tell them all the time.
I'm asking this.
I give them breaking news so that they can see the
I
new
don't
players.
want breaking news only. What else are you bringing to these people so that they must know about our football? They must know about the brand that you guys are pushing, which is our PSL.
Well, I think I'll take it up as a challenge.
Yeah, because as people who have been in football, it's our responsibility as well to paint a picture. And also to bring that excitement as well to the stadiums, to say, but people, you're missing out by not going to the stadium. Because, I was so jealous, to be honest, with what I saw in Orlando over the weekend. Because that was beautiful to see. Even though they didn't bring the energy of singing throughout the season, because Masanda they do that. But to see the black and white in the stadium, that was beautiful. We haven't seen that in a long time.
Look, I accept the challenge, Skipper. I'll take it upon myself also to educate our fans as well, to play my part and not just push the responsibility to the marketing team, to the league. But also, I think it's a lesson learned as well for me as a journalist that I'm part of the ecosystem to try and get people on board. And instead of sitting at home and being couch potatoes, to actually go out. To do the same with my daughters as well, to bring them out to watch football, because they always see me leaving, catching a flight to the next game, or
You know why I'm asking this. The late Dada Shakwan, my soul rest in peace, once told me this thing that the biggest mistake you can ever make as a person is to think my role as Kampakekana is just sit here and speak about about football that I know.
Yeah.
But not
It's much bigger than that.
it's actually much bigger than that because then for our national team to have 15 supporters on the match of a national team.
That's
not supposed to be like that. But it's our roles and our responsibility to make sure that our football is in good hands. And the things that we say about football, it should be the things that my 8-year-old will be interested in going to the stadium. I don't know if it makes sense.
It makes sense.
So that is why
I've been waiting for him to give me some life lessons today. He finally pulled it off. Yeah.
I think he brings it like this because of the confidence that not only that we also have, but also in what people perceive or have of your craft, because they trust the product that you bring.
Trust it.
So it tells you the impact that you have that you might not be recognizing. And some people would also have another edge to check. If Mazola says this, then probably let me go and try, because he said Sugar is now retiring. Breaking news before he even announced it. So they know the credibility that your page or your product that you have that impacts people, even though you might not see the bigger responsibility that you may be carrying.
Sure. No, I'm taking the responsibility.
Yes,
I'm going ahead
we are
and
in
inspiring
football,
people
and football is
to.
ours.
We are all in the ecosystem together.
I like that, the ecosystem. Did you hear that?
It's ecosystem, economy.
Ecosystem.
All right.
Yeah, I cannot accent. What time? I feel like this no ponya.
Mazet, thanks for being with us on the pitch side. It's such an honor, and hopefully we'll get to have more chats like this. Life lessons, like you were saying. Skipper gets on form and he begins to
on form today.
become a
He's on
teacher.
form today. It's a pleasure.
I want the pleasure. Thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
A star isn't born. It's carved biggie every day. The harder we work, the higher we rise. Champions don't rule because they never fail. We never quit. And that's why Spapet. We do it for you. We do it with you. We do it together. And we'll do it over and over. We will repeat.
We still continue getting more insight, getting more information in and around the new sponsorship and the expectations for this season. A man with tons and tons of experience, tons and tons of knowledge. Not only that, but also having a background of Puma and being yellow and ladies and gentlemen.
I'm a recruiter already. You have been recruited.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me.
Sam Matlatsi himself.
Thank you very much. If I was a sportsman, I would say I'm a Puma athlete, but I'm not a sportsman. So I was never good enough to play sports professionally. But it's my love, it's my passion. I've always loved football. I always tell people that on my wall growing up, I always had pictures of soccer players and of Dingantobel, the late Dingantobel.
Oh, the Rose of Soweto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was like a hero. They were big during those days.
Yeah.
Pictures of
Baby
Pirates
J.
players, Sundowns players, Kaizer Chiefs players.
Yeah.
Because those were the big teams. Let's extend Swallows.
Yeah.
Because Swallows always had that thing of being a team for Tawago. So I grew up with sports.
Yeah.
And it's no surprise that I'm still involved in sports. But I'm making it clear, I was never good enough to become
Mahlatsi weshu iwamkhethu.
Thank you very
My
much.
question
Yeah, thank you.
Betway ifihlile the league sponsor. What is your expectations of the league in the new season? What are the expectations for you to the players?
I think my expectations is like, when you have a Christmas gift still wrapped up, you don't know what's inside there.
Yeah.
I'm in that situation. But having watched a few of the matches that I've played so far, if what we have seen so far in the MTN 8 and some of the friendly matches that we've seen, I think I'm excited about the season. It should be a good season. Normally, when a new sponsor comes on board, there's always excitement.
Yeah.
The Betway guys have made the intent. It's clear that they sort of want to revolutionize football again. And I'm expecting a lot. People are saying, Sundowns has been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
We want someone there at the top.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Pirates. Pirates have on paper they've always looked good.
Yeah.
But they've lacked that consistency of becoming a championship team.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that this season. Sundowns also. You guys have got your own challenges up to so far.
Yeah.
With the new coaching team, one or two players here and there. The team is pretty much white, the same as it was. We look at teams like Cape Town City, Stellenbosch, SuperSport. They will always be there. So, if maybe we have 5 teams that are competitive enough, and we've got the lower. Polokwane and Golden Arrows and Chipa also competing. We should have a good season because it's becoming a little bit tedious or boring now that Sundowns are always winning the league with 4 or 5
Is it wrong?
It's not wrong, but for the neutrals it's not nice. I think we need to go back to the situation where we go to the last match of the season.
And the trophy is floating in the sky.
There was a time when the trophy was somewhere
in the sky.
In Bloemfontein, nobody don't know what's going to happen. But, I guess the challenge is for our team to compete with Sundowns. And, as to come back to the question, I'm expecting what should be a very, very good season.
Yeah. I'm asking a question, and you touched on a bad way you wanting to change the league. What sort of responsibility or role are you going to play as journalist? To teach and to educate the new generation about the football?
Yeah, I guess for us, as the journalists, it pretty much remains the same. Is to inform the public, is to report on what's happening in the league. Betway comes with its own dynamics as a betting company, where I think a little bit of education has to go into teaching people that
responsible
betting. Responsible betting is something that we need to do. It's not wrong. It's not against the laws of the country. But we've seen in the past where people have gotten into trouble because of addiction into betting. So it will be part of our responsibility, and I'm happy that as they launched the season today, there's an ad. I think you're part of it where already messaging is out there to educate the fans about the dangers of being addicted to betting. But for us, our job is to report. We'll follow the players. We'll follow the movement of the teams. We will do whatever is necessary to make sure that we inform the public. And it is for the players to also do their part. Coaches always say, we the journalists, we always demand the best from the players, but we must also play our part in terms of improving
the product,
and helping the product to be good. If you look now in our profession, there's a lot of young people coming through into our professional journalism. Some of us, the senior guys, we really need to also play our part in terms of mentoring and making sure that the younger group is coming through. We won't be here for too long. The same as you guys, have sort of moved on to other things, and the younger players have taken over. So there also from our side, it's going to be very important. But I think should be a very, very good season.
I like the input you make on being able to educate and being able to help the next generation. The same way in football, you always prepare the younger ones when they come into the senior team. They find senior players who help them stabilize, help them understand the responsibilities they carry, not only just to be a footballer, but the impact they have on society from a young age. And also hearing it from a legend himself, because you've been in the game, you've been in journalism for a very, very long time. I know you don't like it when people say legend, but honestly speaking, some of us, we grew up getting insights and articles from the product that you have been.
I must leave now.
No. What he's trying to tell you is it's a good thing that you mentioned that you need to grow the new.
Yeah, of course.
We need more Mahlatzis, more people who have passion of journalism.
It is our responsibility. I mean, I look around newsrooms. Unfortunately, this is just the nature of how things are now.
Yeah.
You don't have senior guys anymore. I mean, obviously, I also cover rugby and cricket. Sometimes.
You see why you're a legend? Okay, you see why you're a legend?
When England is here, maybe in cricket and rugby, or you see the people who are covering the game.
Yeah.
Is senior, highly experienced people. And here in South Africa, it's different. The newsroom it's become too generalized. And we don't have like the senior guys. When some of us arrived, you had Abubra, Thomas Gwenait, Sileman, Billy Cooper. Those are the people who, when we were still at school, we looked up to say, one day I want to be like that. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we help some of the young guys to become better. We live in a different age now of social media. There's always that danger or that fine line younger people walk on. Of whether are you really doing the traditional journalism the way it's supposed to be done, or how have we transitioned from the old way of doing journalism to the way journalism is being done now. Obviously, social media is here. We can't run away from it. We need to find a balance as to how do we do reporting. Most of the guys don't do reporting as it should be done, or it was done before. But I guess the advancement of technology is forcing us to do things differently. When I started, there were no podcasts. Now we're here. There was no YouTube and all those kinds of things, and Twitter and whatever. So those things are here now, and we need to find a balance. So how do we cover sports? How do we cover news? And that kind of thing. But it's exciting. Some of us also have to reinvent ourselves to make sure that we meet the new demands. Because, you can't. It's like coaching, or as a player, you have to evolve all the time. When you guys started playing football, it's completely different how it is now. So society challenges us all the time, and we will try our best to educate and help the young guys that are coming through.
Do you see any surprises when it comes to this season's campaign? Not only that, but also because Betway comes in with a big investment or sponsorship in terms of the financials. What is it that you personally expect, or are you anticipating to see if there are going to be any new pop-ups to be contending or to surprise the league with performance, or either hopefully also contending for the league?
I think the first thing that I love to see really is to see a competitive season. I don't know if I should say it here or what.
Say it, feel free.
I really want to see somebody pushing Sundowns.
Back.
Sundowns, well, I mean, I don't want to say they've had it easy, but they've had it, obviously, Sundowns took it to another level, and largely because of their participation in the Champions League. What they've learned in the Champions League has helped them to elevate. And the unfortunate part of our league was that Sundowns elevated. At the bottom, there was no one coming through, because you didn't see another team who consistently in the quarterfinal. I mean, in the group Champions League group stages, and that could have helped maybe another team coming through. I'd love to see. Maybe Pirates. I'm not sure about Chiefs. I think Chiefs still have a long way to go before they can recapture the glory of where they were. And also, it's saddening to see Chiefs the way they are now. But they've made a strong statement of intent by getting a big coach. I think the players will probably react to what the coach is doing. It always happens from time to time. But Pirates are stable. They've got continuity. I expect big things from them. Stellenbosch are there. Coach Gavin Hunt has signed very smartly on the transfer market. They've done good business with Stan and the guys at the club. Cape Town City will always be there. They'll compete. And you'll have the other teams that are, every season. Last season, the surprise package, I think, was Polokwane City, making it to the top 8.
The top 8.
You'll have teams like that. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Magezi from Limpopo. There may be a breath of fresh air. They may come and surprise anybody. But one thing that will please me, it will be to see somebody who can really go after Sundowns. And Sundowns also have got their own dynamics. Let's be honest. With the new coach now. Coach Manova is doing things a little bit different. But that technical team is also very experienced. Been there before. Coach Steve, Coach Wendell Robinson. They are experienced people who know the league. You feel that maybe I liked what the Bafana coach said recently, that maybe the problem is now is that they have not played enough matches. You feel.
They only
that rusting that they've not played enough. But I don't know how they are going to look like if they start clicking. If you check the stats, they are creating chances, just that they are not scoring. If they start scoring, what's going to happen? If the players goes over this phase that they are going through now, you can call it maybe a smaller mental block. If they overcome this and start buzzing, we may see a different team. The fans are a bit on the edge. They don't know what's going to happen. There's pressure and all that kind of thing. It's very interesting. We should have a fairly balanced season, But I'm looking at Pirates. I'm looking at Stellenbosch.
Supersport.
I'm looking at Supersport. I'm looking at Cape Town City. And there is every possibility that we may have a new champion come next.
But you didn't mention Sundowns. You're looking
Yeah,
at
but
the
I
four.
feel Sundowns are there
to challenge.
Sundowns are there.
Okay.
It's crazy because when you say that, it's crazy when we say that, because when you're talking about the teams that must push Sundowns, it reminds me when we're still playing, me and Sugar, during our time. This time of the season, we used to struggle the same way these boys were struggling. And when I looked at their faces over the weekend, I felt like I'm still playing.
I was part of
I finished my
I actually felt the same way.
I felt the same, because how I wish I could have been there and explain it in words, because unfortunately certain things they need your experience. You need to experience them, and for you to come out of that, you need to have the same feeling you experience to come out of that. So I think the current generation, they need to face that. That's the face, as you said.
It's a test.
It's a test of character.
Also, I think you guys are at the club. You need to speak to them. You are still not encroaching into the job of the coaches, but as former players who have lived it, who have seen it, players are characters of. They need a reference point. If you have done it, they will listen to you. To say, guys, you must calm down. Continue doing what you're doing. It will turn. The late Sheikh Kuman always used to say, it will turn. It will turn. It's only a matter of time. But also, I think the other key interesting thing coming for the next season, especially with Pirates, what I've noticed, I just hope Champions League doesn't disturb them. Because I looked at the squad. They don't have enough continental experience. Most of the players there, no junior national teams, no national team. They have not done this before. This thing before. It may work in their disadvantage. The coach himself is not knowledgeable when it comes to the Champions League, to the continent. It's one thing which maybe may affect them. But also Stellis, Comfort Cup, it may, if you get 2 trips to North Africa or West Africa, it's a bit tricky.
That's for so you know that is not easy.
No,
so why you guys are not educating people about this, to know that it's not easy to travel to West Africa twice?
I was saying to someone that if you go there,
and come back,
number one, you must charter.
Okay.
If you are going to do those things of going to Dubai and go, forget about the Champions League. You're never going to do it. And it costs money, but you've got to do it. So, I guess those are the little things that are going to be put into this pot. We're going to be cooking all these things, and they will make for a very, very interesting season. But it's a challenge for the rest of the guys to challenge Sundowns. But
Yeah.
obviously, as we said, it's not like Sundowns are on a. They are at the moment, from what we have seen now.
Yeah.
Something needs to change for them to start. I don't know when was the last time Sundowns lost to each other.
Yeah.
It's unheard of. Everybody's rattled, but if they respond, then anything is possible.
Yeah.
Big man, thank you for joining us on the pitch side.
Are we finished already?
This is how we feel, eh?
Yeah.
When we are sitting on the other side, and
This is
it
how we
feels
feel.
like.
And by the way, this is a little bit weird because
we are the one asking you questions.
Something really has to
Yeah. Nah.
But also it's important. Also the younger players must realize that what you guys are doing,
Yeah.
you need to look and observe as you go along, as you play, to find something you like that you can do when you finish playing. Because not everybody can be a coach if you play it. So you guys are in this space now. I do watch the podcast.
Thank you.
Even though you scoop us with the players all the time, sometimes you must bring these players to us.
We'll do it if you join us in saying pitch side.
Or maybe you must tell me who you are interviewing next. I can send questions.
Okay. You must do that.
But it's been nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and good luck to Sundowns. Good luck to all the clubs in the coming Betway Premiership. Yeah, I think it was a nice launch.
Good luck to
And we're looking
all
forward
the
to it.
teams.
Yeah.
Lena, I'm saying good luck to all the teams.
Yeah, now I have to say that because they're going to say, aye.
Oh, bias.
Yeah, he's biased, this one. So good luck to all the teams. Yeah.
There you have it, another episode of the Pitch Side right here as we're launching the new sponsor for the Premier League right here in South Africa. So get ready for an exciting season. You've heard everybody has spoken. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is yet another episode of the Pitch Side
Podcast.